Hello, people. Tony here, and welcome back to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews, and this is episode 121, Part 1. And today we're going to be talking about some Simpsons games. Now, those of you who've been around since the 80s and the 90s and today know what the sitcom The Simpsons is. It's one of the most popular cartoon sitcom shows out there, and it's been going on since the late 80s, like 1988 to be exact. So they've been around for over 30 years and stuff. And I will admit, like when I was a kid, I did watch The Simpsons a lot and stuff like that when I was a kid. I don't remember a lot of the episodes I watched because I was so young and stuff, but watching The Simpsons was very funny for me, especially because I'm seeing what kind of trouble Bart got into, how Homer acted, or what happened with Lisa and Marge, and all them stuff. It was a funny show for me, definitely. And everyone when I grew up knew of the show, and we talk about it sometimes here and there and stuff. But times have changed as I was older. We kind of stopped watching The Simpsons, but when we were kids, yeah, definitely Simpsons was the shit back then, definitely. Now The Simpsons also got into the video game world there, and they were in a lot of video games. Sadly, a lot of these games were very poor and disappointing. There were some good ones there, but a lot of them were bad. But I'm not going to be talking about all those and stuff like that, but we're going to be talking about three Simpsons games that were released for the 6th generation of gaming. We're going to be in 3 parts, like I said. Part 1, we're going to look at The Simpsons Road Rage. Part 2, The Simpsons Skateboarding, and then finally, Part 3, The Simpsons Hit and Run. Now, we got a lot to talk about here. Let's get started with The Simpsons Hit and Run for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, Nintendo GameCube, and for the Game Boy Advance, released in late 2001. Now, The Simpsons Road Rage here, this was one of the very first Simpsons games I ever owned. Stuff that I did play some, but I never really owned them for a home console or anything like that. Aside from that awful Simpsons wrestling and stuff like that and such. But not counting that one, this was the first Simpsons game I ever got as a kid, because I got Simpsons Wrestling afterwards, and at the time as a kid, I thought it was one of the best games ever, but as I got older, I realized the problems here, and what people meant by, when they said the game was just a shameless ripoff of Crazy Taxi and all that stuff and such. It's just, I'm going to ignore the ripoff claims of this, so we all know the story that, Sega sued Electronic Arts for it being a carbon copy of Crazy Taxi, and they won and stuff. I'm going to ignore those claims, but I'm just going to talk about the game as a whole and why, the game is rather disappointing now. It's not the worst Simpsons game ever made out of the 3 I'm going to be looking at here, but still, the game could have been a lot better and stuff. But we'll talk about that as time goes on here, and the story talks about how C. Montgomery Burns is releasing these new radioactive energy buses that are a threat to the public health, and so everyone in the town of Springfield decides to turn their cars into cabs to make money to buy back the transit system and to get rid of the buses and foil Montgomery Burns' plans. And basically the goal is to win $1 million and stuff to win, and that's basically what the story is. The story is not really deep because it's basically just the opening cutscene and the interaction with the characters, during gameplay and certain cutscenes with Montgomery Burns and stuff and stuff doing that. So it's basically not much story there. But the story you get is okay. It could be better, but it's still better than not having any story at all. It's much better than Simpsons Wrestling storyline, that's for sure. Definitely. But now again, the presentation here is kind of a hit or miss. I thought they could have done so much more with the graphics like that, but I can understand if people like it. The presentation here for me, sure, you got the opening cutscene stuff, which looks great, and you got the character models and the cars like that, but the cars look shell shaded, while the characters look 3D and stuff, and the backgrounds look okay looking stuff, but it could be better looking in my opinion. So I think the graphics could have done more with the graphics, and the fact that there is inconsistent frame rate throughout the game too, where when the game chugs and there's a lot of action popping up on the screen, they could have done more with the graphics. I'm not trying to be a negative Debbie Downer about the game, which is just my thoughts here, but they could have done more with the graphics here, definitely. For sound, I have to say the sound is probably my favorite part of The Simpsons Road Rage. All the characters from the show come here to reprise their lines for the game here, and they add new lines too. While some of the lines just sound really out of place, when you pick up someone and say, "Oh, take me to the Quickie Mart. I need Wrestling Magazine stuff. Don't sit on my handheld," or "Get ready for electric speed" and stuff. That's what Lisa says there and stuff, which she's the character I'm playing as. You play up to 17 characters and stuff, including like an extra holiday theme one if you play on a holiday or use a code and stuff. But I'm playing as Lisa Simpson in this game, which is my favorite character of the series. It's just some of the lines feel really out of place when they're like talking and stuff. Like they don't make sense when they talk and stuff. They just do this throughout the whole game and such, aside from like the opening cutscene and stuff. So it is kind of an annoyance there that like how some of the lines for the dialogue sound out of place, but still, I'm glad they were able to get the actors from the show to voice their characters in the game here, and they do a good job. Like I said, just the lines feel out of place sometimes when like you're picking up a customer and stuff. The music is great. It has that Simpsons feel to it, and it can't get any better than that when it comes to Simpsons games. So the Simpsons music and stuff, well, the music in this game feels like a music you hear in like a Simpsons game or the Simpsons TV show and stuff. So plus there to that and stuff. Now getting into the gameplay here. The gameplay is probably the worst part of the Simpsons Road Rage. It's not the most broken game I ever played and stuff, but still, a lot more could have been done with the gameplay here. Now, ignoring the rip-off claims like that, this game is basically a clone of Crazy Taxi, but it's pretty shallow and watered down because, like, it's just... while they tried their best to emulate Crazy Taxi and stuff, definitely, it came with a bunch of problems like that. Like, first off, the way your car handles very slippery, like you're on ice and stuff, and you slide all over the place, and it's hard to avoid hitting stuff, and it costs you time on the clock. And there are times where you'll you can earn extra money by like avoiding traffic, and if you hit 3 cars, you don't get the extra money, and you can destroy stuff too to get like $1,000 stuff like that, which is cool and stuff like that. But like I'm going a little off topic, I'll get that in a little bit. But like it's very hard to stay in control of the car. I mean, you think, oh, you just pick a different car, you should be fine. No, all the vehicles do that, and it just makes driving around feeling like a major household chore, and just it makes driving feel like a big chore when it should be fun and stuff. But that's just me though. And like of course it's very hard to earn extra money. Like in Crazy Taxi, you could earn money by doing some crazy jumps and like narrowly missing traffic and stuff like that. Here, the only way to earn money is like avoiding traffic during certain times, and like hitting objects for an extra $1,000, and just getting there as fast as you can. I mean, it just I don't know why they. I mean, like I just didn't like that because like just that like with all the crazy jumps that you do in the game, it could have been nice if you could earn extra money and stuff, but that's not the case there at all. And like of course like the controls are good and stuff. I mean, I don't have a problem with the controls there and stuff, but still like it's just a lot more could have been done here when it comes to the game. And also for the fact that like you have like 6 levels to pick, like you have one unlock, and you have the Simpsons fan unlock at the beginning when you're with the characters. You have to unlock them when you make like a certain amount of money, which I haven't been able to unlock all the characters and all the courses. I actually did beat the game, and it felt satisfying, but even though the ending was a little bit disappointing and stuff, but still like it felt good to beat it, but just like it felt like a chore because of all the problems it has there and stuff, and like it's just one wrong move and it could cost you getting a good or an average and stuff like that, or you'll get slow and not earn much money. And like just sometimes you also, another problem I have is that you'll pick up these same characters over and over. Like you pick up Otto, then you pick up Homer, then like another minute you'll pick up Otto again and stuff. Like yeah, that'll just be it. I will admit the designs for the cars are really cool, especially they like auto driving the school bus stuff. That was a convertible school bus and stuff. That's really cool, and like a convertible police car for Chief Wiggum, and like stuff like that. And of course like you got like the car for home making lock with the mission mode, which looks cool, but like still it's not enough to save it. Of course, like aside from the regular road rage mode, you also have a couple other modes too that you can play. Of course, aside from the multiplayer, you have like Sunday Drive, which is basically like just you're going around, pick up customers without no time like going down, pretty much like the practice mode. Then you have mission mode, which is so dumb, which like I did not like the mission mode at all, because all you're basically doing is just like destroying stuff or getting to this destination on time and stuff. And your only reward is the card, but for Homer, while it does look cool, it pretty much is kind of lacking, because like you spend all that time trying to beat the mission, and that's your only reward there, and still like a lot more could have been done with this, definitely. I mean, they could have took time to iron out the problems with the way like the cars handle, and how like how slippery it is and stuff like that and all that stuff. They could have took time to iron out those problems, and the game could have been great. even though a lot of people considered it a Crazy Taxi ripoff and stuff, it still could have been much better than the game we got here. I mean, this whatever version you're playing on, the PlayStation 2, the GameCube, or the Xbox, it'll all be the same thing. Like, I have played the Xbox version at my buddy JJ Jaguar 89's house, which shout out to him, because like he's the one who introduced me to the game, because he had it for the Xbox when he first got it, and I asked him to try it out, and he told me what the game was like, and it very much did pretty good for my first time playing stuff. And then I had to get the game myself from the PlayStation 2, because old system I had at the time when when we had 6th generation consoles and stuff, so I had to get it there. So shout out to you, JJ Jaguar 89. If it were for you, I would not have known anything about this game, so shout out to you, buddy. And aside from that, though, there really isn't much else to say here about this game. I mean, like, it's an average, mediocre game, which would have had more done with it and stuff. I mean, it's not the worst game I ever played, but still, like, it could have been better. My final thoughts are, if you like Simpsons and you want a game with a Simpsons license in it, where you drive the cars around and stuff, then definitely pick it up. But just say here that Crazy Taxi was better and stuff. Crazy Taxi was 10 times better, and if you're not a Simpsons fan, you're not going to enjoy this game and stuff. So just a warning there. But if you don't have your expectations set up very high, then definitely trust Simpsons Road Rage. Depending on your, it's a fair, mediocre game. Because of all the problems I had with the game, like the frame rate and the problems with the gameplay, this won't be getting a high score at all. The score I'll be giving it is a 5 out of 10, because that's the best score I can give it. It could have been better, but it could have been worse at the same time, so just saying. So if you want to check it out, proceed with caution. That's pretty much all I gotta say. Stay tuned for episode 121, part 2 of 3. We're going to be looking at The Simpsons Skateboarding, released exclusively to the PlayStation 2. Now, how does The Simpsons fare with a skateboarding game? Find out next. But all I gotta say, this is Tony. Peace now.